Oh, hey, reinsured Blake. Oh, yeah. Welcome to Blockchain Basement. On today's episode, we're gonna have a really good time. We're gonna talk about some top 5 trending AI some crypto AI tokens. The SEC stacking up those L's as well as the HBAR ecosystem exploding. Let's get into it, basement dwellers. Here we go. You ready for this? I'm ready. Welcome.
If you're gonna screw me, at least pull my hair.
Hell yeah. What you got?
They could start chopping off fingers. They're like, give me your seed phrase, but I don't know it.
Out to give the numbers out. And I was like, no, hang up the phone right now.
Or like when it dropped in 2020, was it like exciting?
400,000 to 600,000. The generational signals are now.
Level. So I don't even know if we're gonna get back below there, but if we do, that's kind of where we
All right, I don't think we're ever going to get tired of that intro. Like I said, we're going to have a really good show for you guys today. We have a surprise guest, Cassius Cuvee, joining us live here in studio today. You may have seen him on Around the Blockchain. You may have seen him on his YouTube channel. He knows a lot about crypto. He also is great with the beats and the music. We're doing some really fun extracurriculars here. That's why he's here today and tomorrow. So real quick, Cassius, tell everybody kind of who you are, how you got into crypto, and where they can find more about you.
Well, thanks for having me on, man. First, happy to be here. This is dope. Actually, my first time ever in Atlanta, Georgia. So proud to say that my first stop was here at the Hit Network.
All right.
I'm the host of the show called Poppin' Crypto with Cassius Cuvee on my YouTube channel. And what I do is I bring on founders and CEOs of different Web3 projects or someone tech finance related. And I interview them about their project. But before I do, I always have a custom song that I specifically write and perform for their project. So when you come on there, I'm a rapper, I'm a recording artist. So I always have a song that I write and I have my DJ who cuts the record. This year I've been doing music videos. I was at CES. So I did a couple of music videos there for the projects that I had on my show. So that's what I do on my show. I got seriously into crypto in 2021. I was in finance, when like a lot of people, lockdown came. I started learning about trading. I got into, first of all, it was TradFi, learned about the stock market, trade there. And then I had a song go viral called SPAC Dream, got me on CNBC, and I played my music video a couple times and stuff. And basically everyone was like, you should make an NFT out of it. I was like, what the hell is an NFT?
Yeah.
So for that, I had to learn about blockchain technology. And then you had me at hello. Once I learned what Bitcoin really was, of course, I had heard of Bitcoin, but I didn't understand it and the difference in other cryptos. Looking back, and I'm studying and learn as much stuff as I can, going to all the conferences, everybody at the In Real Life events. I even have a music video called In Real Life, IRL, where I show everybody who I met and just talk about my experiences. I like to have fun in the space. That's what I do.
Love that. Well, you're gonna do great here. We like to have fun as well. Of course, we've got the one and only Frankie Candles joining us here today. The Druth, crypto prepper, Drew Whitert, the beautiful Biscuit Jesus on the board. There he is, the lovely. And of course, all of you guys, Fluffy the Sheep, Crypto Kilowall, Hope E. John Smith says, what's up, guys? Headed to the Atlanta for the book signing event tonight. We'll see you tonight, John Smith. I don't know if that's your real name or not. Of course, in the basement, due to his mind, say Solar Mining Spain, Crypto Tony, Crypto Thorn, Rug Gang, Manawak, Radio Face, Razmataz, Corey Harden. I skipped yours because it was hard to read. Dorayalakin. I don't know what your name is. And somebody in the attic saying, yo, Frankie, tell TJ how to pronounce your name correctly. Is it Frankie? Like, what is it? I don't know.
Oh, wait, how to pronounce my name correctly?
Yeah. Am I saying it wrong?
Frankie? I don't know.
Frankie Candles.
I don't know.
What it is.
Who said? I think Crypto Killer Whale said that. I was wondering. I was like, I don't know. Crypto Killer Whale. I don't know how else he would say that.
I think Crypto Killer Whale is talking about his own name.
Oh, how to pronounce his name correctly. Got it. Well, maybe there you go. He just Crypto Killer Whale, right?
There you go.
That's the right way to pronounce it. So, Bing Bong in the chat. Fwanky, somebody says.
What's going on?
Call him the Godfather. That's right. Frankie, the one and only mafia leader himself, with the sauce, with the trades. Before we get too far into it, I'll hit this real quick. We've got the Cleveland Fed expecting a headline CPI inflation to print 5.4% year over year next Tuesday, down from 6.4%. Obviously, Ben and I covered some of this on the morning live stream on BitBoy Crypto. This would obviously be a big pullback. Obviously that's a big drop there, going down almost a full percentage point. I know Chemistry Bro, I believe, is in here. He was saying a lot of times they're more focused on the core CPI than the headline CPI here. But either way, getting it moving back in the right direction is something I know they're going to be laser focused on. They're going to talk about it a lot. Do we feel this will impact whether they do more dramatic raises or less dramatic raises? We know yesterday we covered it's about 50-50 on 25 basis points versus 50 basis points. Ben was telling me this morning, today it's actually updated to 75% chance for 50 basis points. And so far, the probabilities have been fairly accurate. Frank, I know this is a little bit of your world. I know you're in the trading world every day. We also looking like on a TA level, things are starting to lean, towards the downside as far as I know, or at least that's what Kelly was covering this morning. Are you seeing similar things on the charts?
Yeah, for sure. Now, we were and still are technically approaching a really important level of support. Now, if we're able to hold that level, I could try to pull it up on my phones. I don't want to butcher the actual price.
Hold on. I might have you covered right here.
Boom.
Give me 1 second. Is this? Look at this. There you go. Get in there. That's actually your account.
Perfect.
Yeah.
Okay, so yeah, we are approaching a really, really important level of support. Let me pull up the full chart here. Let me just make sure. Templates here. But we are coming up to some really, really important support, which is good news because if we're able to hold those levels, then it's going to could be potentially very, very good and give us a really big bounce to the upside. However, if we wind up breaking these levels, it could wind up being pretty, I don't want to say catastrophic, but that major level that I am watching, I'm just going to go ahead and put the actual level on here right now. It's basically going to be right here, coming in at about 21,500, right? And the reason this is such a key level is because if you go ahead and you pull a fixed range volume profile over this entire range of price action, all the way back from about June, you could see our value area high of this range comes right in at that, right near that $21,500 level. These volume profiles will give you slightly different levels depending on what exchange you're looking at. Things do vary very slightly, but they're very similar. But essentially, this is going to be that key level to hold. If we start losing this red line, this value area high, again, in that 21.8, 21.7 level, that'll essentially, if we get below this level and we cannot get back above it, it would potentially accept us back into this past value area. And once that happens and you cannot get back above that value area high, it would be more likely to come back down to the bottom of your range. Now, no guarantees that we will come all the way back down here.
What's that level 18? On the red line there?
The value area low of that macro range is about $18,650. So once we crack this level, again, I've been harping this on my channel for a week now. We break below this level and can't get back above it. That is where my bullish sentiment, because I do have a bullish leaning sentiment for Bitcoin right now in the longer term, medium to longer term. However, once we break these lows, not only will you be getting accepted back into this value area, but you'll also be breaking that bullish market structure on the higher time frames, which is one of the main things that is giving me my bullish sentiment. So once we crack that level, I'm flipping much more bearish, and it is getting pretty dicey. We're getting pretty close to that level, so it's definitely something to watch.
Yeah, I agree. Great analysis there. Somebody, let's see, a Chemistry Bro mentioned, I tend to agree with this as well, as not too much sense in speculating too hard on where we're going right now on the Fed raises, because we do have a lot more numbers to come out, unemployment numbers, on a handful of other metrics, obviously, that all bear into what they're looking to do when they do those raises. So we'll have to wait for those numbers to come out and see where we're going from there. A lot of people talking about coming out to the meetup tonight. Can't wait to see you guys. Asmir was asking what's the horsepower on the GTR. I think it's pushing right around 600 right now. They changed it up on the tune.
Not 350.
Not 350, not quite double that. It was close. It was closer to 700. They changed the tune up on it a little bit, so it's in the sixes, but it feels a lot faster now. The transitions are, the transmission and stuff is a little bit quicker on it.
Does it feel like this though? Oh, wow.
No, it doesn't.
No. No.
There's my chicken salad for today. Everybody wondering what TJ's eating. So I've been trying to eat before the show as much as possible, but sometimes, guys, I don't get a chance. We got a lot of stuff going on here, a lot of things to keep an eye on. So when it comes to crypto, when it comes to bank involvement, this is just an interesting graph. I'll try to tweet this out so you guys can keep an eye on it, of all the different banks getting involved in crypto right now and in a lot of different projects. Obviously, we know, like you can see Ethereum on here a lot of different times. We know a lot of big banks getting involved with Ethereum. We got Deutsche Bank over here. Now, Polymath, if Polymath, this is one of the, if you guys watch this channel, this is one of the worst L's I've ever taken on a crypto. I was buying it in 2018. I was buying it in 2019. At some point in there, I gave up and moved on, which this is actually a learning opportunity for some of you guys. Sometimes, even if you're in a good, so if this comes back and turns into a good project, I will be a little bit pissed, but at the same time, I was better to cut my losses and move it into things that moved. So I was way down on Polymath. I probably put a few $1,000s into it at the time. and kept buying all the way down, and then it went sideways forever. And eventually I was like, you know what? I don't think this thing's ever going to move. Moved it into Ethereum and Atom and some of these other ones that obviously did extremely well in the last bull market. So I don't regret pulling my funds out of that project, but it is always one of those. It feels like, oh, as soon as you move on, that's when the project starts to moon. Deep Brain Chain was another one of those that did kind of have some movement after the AI narrative came back. But just wanted to spin down this real quick so you guys can see this industry is not going away. These are huge banks and huge companies all over the world. You got Goldman Sachs, JP Morgan. Somebody right before the stream started was saying, I think it was Drew was mentioning JP Morgan might be pulling out of Gemini.
Yeah.
Another interesting thing to keep an eye on. We got HSBC getting involved. And a lot of this is all since the end of 21, early 2022. We've got Avalanche on here, Polygon, Aave on here several different times. So this is just something to keep an eye on. I just thought it was an interesting thing when you're looking at ecosystems. I like these little charts that kind of make it easy to digest and keep an eye on. We'll look at another one a little bit later on when it comes to. You want me to give you a little fun tip, BJ? Can you see my cursor?
Yeah.
Anytime I hover here, that means I'm ready to close this. I don't want to close it until we come back to the slide.
So we're trying to have a communication.
Yeah. It's a little secret communication there. So that's a little behind the scenes for you guys. And now he's not going to do it because I asked him to do it. He's just trolling me. There we go. Because when it's on my screen, I don't want to show the next thing until now I'm ready. Just kidding. So let me see. Yeah, we'll hit some of this stuff fast because I know you guys are going to want to hear about some of these top 8. I know I put it in the title. We've got these top trending, really over the last 2 months. Here they are, the top trending projects. We got Fetch, Ajax, Render, Graph, and Ocean. We'll talk about a little bit more of that on that in a second. But SEC stacking up L's. They did basically Binance US gains court approval to acquire bankrupt crypto lender Voyager digital assets for $1 billion. For those of you that have been following this case, Voyager went bankrupt. Looking to get Binance trying to step in, acquire them, and try to make his people as whole as possible. So this is great news. If you had funds on Voyager, for whatever reason, whatever motivation it may be, Gary Gensler and the SEC was desperately trying to stop this from happening. They clearly have a hard-on for CZ and Binance in general. They do not want them involved in any of this stuff. They said, Binance US has been selling unregistered securities, which is a completely baseless claim, because they haven't defined any of those things. And boom, they lost another case here. We covered a lot this morning, what's going on with the SEC in the Ripple case, which is looking like not good for the SEC in any sense of the regard. We've also got this one here from Lark Davis, Crypto Lark, another one of my all-time favorites when it comes to crypto YouTube content. Big news, U.S. courts are now speculated to overturn the SEC's previous denial of the Grayscale Bitcoin spot ETF. Now, if you guys have been in crypto for a while, we've been hearing about a spot Bitcoin ETF. Probably, I think the first one was applied for by the Winklevi like 12 years ago, and it's just been denied after denial after denial. They have approved a futures ETF. It does function and operate. And that's turning into their Achilles heel because the judge basically asked them straight up, why can you approve a futures one but not a spot one? It doesn't make any sense other than the fact that it's actually a spot one's way better for Bitcoin price action and for the markets. It tracks much closer to the Bitcoin price. So if you guys are involved in Grayscale, them actually being a real spot Bitcoin ETF means they're actually holding the Bitcoin that is there, not just a contract saying, betting on where the price of Bitcoin is going to go. It's going to put way more buying pressure on Bitcoin. It means billions of dollars are going to have to be purchased, which is great for us, which is why, I tweeted, here's to that midsummer pump, so there's a lot of things shaping up to where, we if we go down and like if the chart Frankie was mentioning a minute ago, if we get some interest rate raises and some more fear in the market, we go back down and test some of those value area lows. Like I'd love to see it go back down below 20K again into the 19 range. I don't know if it'll get it might get all the way to 18. I think that was the bet we made on here. What do we see first, 18 or 26 on the Bitcoin price?
I said 17.1 on May 7th.
Yeah, BJ has a very specific prediction. I think it was a split room. I said 18. I think Drew said 18, right?
Yep, I was feeling 18.
And then we had a couple people that said 26. And DZ put some of his ADA on the line in that bet, so we'll see what happens.
We bet 3 ADA on it.
Yeah.
So
I will
never.
3 ADA, that was the bet.
Yeah,
Baller.
I will never financially recover.
It wasn't 3 Chainlink?
I thought it was 30,000 ADA.
No,
no. Which would have made it a little bit more of an interesting bet, but we'll have to up the ante next time. But I do kind of lean short term, and you guys, to hear me, I'm always long term bullish on Bitcoin. Don't get too caught up in the specific day-to-day price right now, but it is an accumulation range for all of you. I'll say it once, I'll say it 1,000 times on the show. Now is the time to be accumulating Bitcoin and crypto that you're interested in for the 24 and 25 bull run to take your profits then. That being said, short term, I do see us moving a little bit more. I do lean a little bearish in the short term. I do think we'll go back down towards that 20K level, maybe a little bit below it before moving all the way back up, which I feel like is very healthy in my opinion. It satisfies the chart gods, so to speak. It checks the boxes for the TA. Then we can start getting more positive news coming out. We start to see the inflation dropping, in the numbers that they're showing a little bit, and can kind of back off the rate raises, maybe Q2, Q3, and this is just another thing that lines up with that possibility. Always makes me want to like one of those guys. I know. If we see a spot ETF get approved, if we see the Ripple case settle favorably, even if it was done, from what I hear, it's going to take a couple months for this ETF to actually. Oh, he says it right here. A decision won't come for sure until Q2 or Q3, but this would be huge if it happens. I'm hesitant to get too hyped about this because, like I said, we've been hearing about a spot ETF as long as I've been in crypto. That being said, this would all line up. Like, it's amazing when the macro and the TA and all of that stuff, and the on-chain analytics Kelly was showing some of on the morning stream today, all kind of lean the same direction and start to satisfy, all kind of turn into self-fulfilling prophecies, I guess. The halving, of course, in 24 will be that will always be the big catalyst for the big bull market to come. But and Ben and I actually we were looking at the month-over-month chart. We know in 2019, I think it was February, basically we had like 3 or 4 months of green in a row in 2019. Even though it feels very bearish, it was coming up from 3,800, basically all the way up to 7K, and then climbed to 10K, and then went all the way to 14 before falling back in that 7 to 10K range. That experience is really what I'm basing this 2023 market to look like, where we, the low in that 16.5, we climb up pretty dramatically to the start of the year, again, above 20, all the way up to 25. We fall back down maybe to 18, and then we range between, and we get that midsummer pump all the way up to mid 30s. I don't think we'll make it all the way to 40. There's huge volume up there that will suck it up there, but there'll be a lot of selling pressure in that range. A lot of people taking profits. That's when excitement will come back in for a brief moment, and then I think we'll fall all the way back down into this 20 to 28 range, probably for the remainder of the year. And then to Cassius' point, in 2024, halving happens, and then we get to the real fun. And then maybe Ben was saying today, new all-time high for Bitcoin, December 2024, and then 2025 is when we really start the climb to see where we can top out. So I do see that playing out very well. I do see that as an opportunity to accumulate for all of you guys. So yeah, this is just another tweet about Grayscale beating the SEC. I'm going to flow through these pretty quick so we can get to this. Let's see, white girl problems. Oh, shout out to all the ladies out there. It is International Women's Day, I believe. So shout out to all the women in the chat. I know there's probably at least 5 of you, and maybe 7,000 guys and 5 girls in here. So
hell yeah.
We love it. Any ladies in crypto? But, oh, no, I lost it. What did she say? It was a first-time chatter. I was going to read it off.
It's actually interesting.
In the basement, yeah.
We've seen on my channel, our female audience has been going up dramatically. We went from like
those beautiful calves.
Yeah.
Well, it was funny. Once I started showing my face, the numbers went up.
Oh wow.
Well, hey,
yeah.
It's definitely me.
We went from 1% female to 5.1% in like a pretty quick period of time. Very interesting.
1% to 5.1%.
Yeah, the ladies get it popping. That's for sure.
Yeah.
Let's get the women involved.
So do you think the 2023 economic macros will have a bigger impact than we're accounting for? I would say yes and no. I feel like we are accounting for them pretty well. I mean, we talk about it quite a bit.
On the negative side, I feel like the negative macro has been more absorbed than the potential positive that could be experienced if any sort of talks of peace come out, or anything like that. And there's been a lot of talks of this conflict going on that have really depressed trade and transit, and I think there's a lot of reasons for countries outside of the U.S. to turn on their basic quantitative easing processes beyond just what they've done on the bond buybacks, because they have to kick their economies forward at some point, and we see that happening in Asia ahead of the U.S. We're holding on here and trying to continue tightening for as long as we can, but yeah, I mean, if any sort of talks of peace come about, China gets involved and quells it, then you could see an insane rally from the markets once they realize that, yes, the world is not ending and you have to wake up and continue going to work. So,
yeah. Any thoughts on that, Cassius?
Well, I start my song, I Can Lead You to the Money. The first lines of the song is, the world ain't ending, I ain't never been scared,
Hey.
but I ain't pretending that I got to get prepared.
Oh, okay.
So when the markets turn to bear, I ain't even really care about a dip and become a multimillionaire.
Hey, I like that. I like
This
that.
is fantastic.
Man, you guys got to check out. So all that's on your channel?
Yeah, it's on my channel. That song's called I Can Lead You to the Money. I was at Money 2020 conference in Las
Heck
Vegas,
yeah.
so we filmed the music video there.
I love that.
That's
Dude. That's
fantastic.
great. Yeah, we gotta start putting. Like I said, we're working on a fun little project today, but we gotta start doing some more of those things because I'm a big fan of obviously where music NFTs could potentially go. Independent artists in general, whether it's IP on an artist level or a music level or whatever that IP looks like. But I think obviously gaming NFTs are gonna have a pretty big impact, in-game items, all that sort of stuff. But I really see the music industry, it's another extremely centralized industry, really controlled by 4 major players, just like the banking industry, that's ripe for disruption, where the people that are doing the most work and producing the most value are getting the least amount of the revenue it's generating, where the people that are up at the top controlling everything are just sucking the value out of the system. So I don't know if it's going to happen by 24 or 25, but definitely by 2030 for sure. I think a lot more independent artists, thanks to the power of social media, thanks to the power of blockchain, and just really decentralization in general. I think independent artists, now is the time to be building yourself up and building your fan base, building your following, and just keep creating. The more you create, the more opportunity you have. I believe in that wholeheartedly. That's really a big part of the ethos here at Hit Network. That's why we are by the creator, for the creator. Everything we do is to empower and uplift people in that world. So good on you for doing that. Good on you and spreading a positive message about it too. You're not only creative and talented, you're actually educating people. It has a very Tom McDonald type feel to it, like what you were just saying. I mean,
drop some prepper knowledge in there too.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? I'm like, this is great.
Listen, I get a lot of game from watching shows like this, and guys in the Hit Network and Ben and Altcoin Daily and a lot of all the other crypto channels. And I always want to give that game back because nobody told me about this, right? So I wish I had been involved before 2020. I didn't need anybody to twist my arm. So I'm like, if I can help spread the word and get exposure to someone who might not otherwise know it, then I'm going to do it.
Yeah, there you go. You said, we were talking earlier today, and he said, as soon as I heard blockchain, I was like immediately all in. I did not need anybody to really pitch me on. I was like, oh yeah, this is what it's all about.
One time, just one clear explanation. Watching mainstream media, I didn't learn anything about.
All right, so speaking of emergent technology like blockchains, we've also got AI. So if you guys like different deep altcoin, if you like it when we go beyond just the big cap stuff, smash that like button. Let's see, how many people do we have? We've got 272 watching right now. You guys know the magic number is 420. If we can get to 420 likes today, we all win. So if everybody can stop what they're doing, smash that like button so we can get this news out there. Like he was just saying, we got to get the message out because there's so many people that would be immediate fans of blockchain, immediate fans of crypto, and the power that it brings back to society if only they knew about it, which is why we put all of our time into doing that. I think Cassius just said it really well there. So if you guys want to help us spread that message, stop what you're doing for 1 second, hit that like button, let us know in the comments the stuff you like to talk about, as well as if you're in the basement, you're a really true OG if you hop over to YouTube and hit that button for us. We love all of you guys. It's always 420 for me, says the Vision Stir. Let's see, Crypto Biker 73 was like 33 on YouTube. Okay, cool. Well, we love all of you guys. So here we go. Thread. Now, I haven't seen him drop this thread for the low caps, but the top 5 trending projects for AI and crypto in the last 2 months. You guys have heard us talk about Ajax a decent amount. Singularity on the Cardano network. We know BJ loves it. BJ loves everything Cardano.
Also, on a side note, I like this. Scroll down a little bit.
Just a touch.
Oh, you like the AI? Yeah.
Who literally looks like the vocalist from Arch Enemy.
Oh,
wow, look at that.
Look
Bullish.
Metal. She's awesome.
Wait, that's a real person?
Yeah.
Yes.
Go back to that
She's a
picture.
great singer.
Yeah, that looks like an AI generated
on the
image.
right.
Holy cow.
Yeah.
Melissa White's Glutz
Yeah.
is dating what the guitars from the Misfits.
That's funny. Yeah.
Franken,
BJ and Drew both are resident hardcore guys. If you guys didn't know this about Crypto Prepper, I was going to say used to be, but you do have a show upcoming.
Yep.
A lead singer in a hardcore rock band. What's the name of your band?
Flood of Souls is my band that I'm mostly in, and then I did some work for 2 Minutes Darker. And yeah, I mean, like, I'm excited. I'm actually showing them how to use NFTs for our imagery, because our imagery is kind of a big thing for the band. So turning some of our images into NFTs and then zoom in art for the music videos, kind of changing stuff up with this.
I might come in to play bass with you.
Oh, I warned my bassist that you're gunning for him, so he's upped his game.
So you play
I don't
hardcore?
have to gun for somebody with less talent than me.
You play hardcore bass or you play any kind of bass, BJ?
I'll play whatever.
Yeah, you play with a pick.
I do what is necessary.
Okay, because most hardcore guys use a pick, right?
Yeah, I'm mainly fingers and slapping and popping.
Yeah, you are
and
mainly
tapping,
fingers.
but like sometimes
Fingers and slapping. That's BJ.
Hamburger.
I told you that he can do some amazing things with his hands. You know.
Maybe we're closer to like Slipknot, so he'll figure it out.
All right.
Yeah,
that'd be great.
Did you guys go? Who did we see? Now I can't remember the name. Huge band, hardcore. It was a little disappointing.
Hardcore.
They played at Mercedes-Benz. When you said Slipknot, it reminded me of them.
I don't know.
You know, you guys would all know it. I just can't think of it right now. It was amazing to watch. It's amazing though, because they're all in like their mid 40s now, and it's like they've been doing it for so long. They still crushed it, but
we did open for Killswitch.
Slapping the bass.
Oh my god, Killswitch is so good.
I love Killswitch. All right, so let's get into some of these. Okay, so these really, I'm just gonna hit them on a high level. Let all of you guys do some of your own research. I know this is some of the stuff you guys have asked about. I'll be honest, I'm a little skeptical on the AI trend in general. That being said, you can trade narratives, make some short-term money, pull your profits out into larger cap projects. None of these are small by any means. If I had to pick a favorite on here, it might be the Graph, just because they've been around for a while, and it's not pure AI. I would say it's AI adjacent in some ways, but it's needed. I would say it's kind of like Chainlink is to smart contracts. The Graph is to AI-ish. I mean, that's a loose comparison there. So yeah, real quick, we're going to touch on Singularity, but these are the top two trending these last 2 months. So, just keep an eye on this. Singularity Net, building the AI and AGI foundation. Like I said, I mentioned it's built on Cardano. Their vision is the world's leading decentralized AI marketplace running on blockchain. Our core mission is the development of artificial general intelligence for beneficial technology singularity. So it reminds me, like I mentioned Deep Brain Chain earlier in the show. If you can it gets scary quick. I will say that, like if you talk about the way AIs learn, machine learning, all that kind of stuff, if you're building any type of AI application, the number one cost is training the machine. Is the machine learning involved? Sometimes it takes years of feeding it different games and models and different things to train the computer to get it smart enough to be able to do what you're trying to get it to do. So if you can start pulling from a general knowledge source where you've already got a very smart, well-trained machine, applying that to your application, obviously it allows way more opportunity for application development. That's the core. Decentralization obviously needs to be involved with all this stuff. We don't want one person owning it. You guys have heard us talk a decent amount about OpenAI, ChatGPT, Microsoft Bing's version of it, and how scary it gets really quickly. Decentralized AI through emerging blockchain technology, creating a fair, whose version of fair, distributed, distribution of power, value, and technology in the global commons. So, on a high level, that's what it is. Beneficial AI systems focused on making the world a more compassionate, more just, and more sustainable place right now and into the future. So this is something very interesting to me. This is something I like to talk about. If I sound like I'm leaning negative on any of this stuff, it's just because I probably thought way too much about, those scary Black Mirror episodes where everything starts off great, making the world more compassionate. Yeah, it sounds great until all of a sudden the machine goes pure machine mode on you and is not. Machines aren't known to be compassionate. I'll say that. Are you
saying that the machine's going to realize that humans use up resources and are viewed like locusts that they need to exterminate eventually?
Yes. Yeah. Like, wait a minute. We're way more efficient than you are.
Yeah.
You're consuming this. We only need that. Why don't we just force you to mine what we need? And then we'll all wake up in the Matrix.
Hopefully we get Chad GPT come out. That might win.
Chad GPT.
Chad. Yeah.
Fetch.ai, another one. Again, these are just not necessarily top picks, but they're just trending. They're ones that have started to do well and definitely have captured people's attention. Autonomous agent technology powered peer-to-peer applications with automation and AI capabilities with or without access to the blockchain, or with or without direct access to a blockchain.
The Borg style ship that they have for their logo over there.
Yeah, this is pretty cool.
No, that's not good. The Borg are bad.
I'm just saying it's cool looking. That's all I'm saying.
That's how they get you.
Obviously on Coinbase, Binance, Gemini, that's a big reason why they've done well. And most likely means I think Coinbase Ventures is involved in it. I'd imagine Gemini's venture arm and Binance's venture arm all probably involved in it. An autonomous ecosystem, network, blockchain network, and smart contract economic settlement. They've got agents, modular and reusable code for peer-to-peer interactions. If you guys haven't We've talked about modular versus monolithic and some of these optimistic and ZK rollup kind of things. So modular, it's a big way a lot of the newer blockchains operate because they learned very quickly. It's not a one size fits all when it comes to building decentralized applications. You need to be able to plug and play different pieces for what you need. Sometimes privacy is more important. Sometimes scalability is more important, throughput, all these different things. So you don't need to settle every single transaction on the main chain if what you're trying to do isn't well suited for that. So keep that in mind.
There is a Chad GPT.
Did you see it here?
This is so wonderful. Thank you so much for that.
So is it real or is it just a parody account?
Yeah, well, it's an account. Came out on Twitter. Ask Chad GPT. I'm going to dig in. This is going to be great.
All right, so here we go. The Graph, APIs for a vibrant, decentralized future. The Graph is an indexing protocol. It's been described, and again, there's a lot of loose comparisons of what it would be. Kind of like Google indexed the internet. The Graph is trying to index a lot of the blockchain for querying networks like Ethereum and IPFS. Anyone can build and publish open APIs called subgraphs, making data easily accessible. So if you guys know what Chainlink is as an oracle, it's getting data, that smart contracts can pull out of Chainlink so they can actually know what the real world data is to settle smart contracts. If you guys understand the way that works, obviously, I'm going to do this very loosely. A smart contract is kind of a if this, then that type of a contract. So if this happens, then that needs to happen. Well, if you need the data to know what this or that is, you need some type of oracle. Chainlink provides decentralized oracles. This very similar when it comes to decentralized APIs. The API, it's pulling from a different source. If you guys know what APIs are, it's pulling different data into the network, into the blockchain, into the smart contract. So that way the smart contracts know how to execute, or in this situation, so that way a lot of the AI and machine learning so blockchains know how to execute with real world data on them. So you can't, it's very hard, I guess, to understand until you start wrapping your head around the whole ecosystem. So if you're new to crypto at all in any way, if you're new to Bitcoin, always say start with Bitcoin, learn how Bitcoin works, learn how blockchain works, learn how proof of work works, understand why it's called a blockchain. Each time a block is solved, it's getting stacked on top of the other one. It's immutable. It goes back to the beginning of time. You need to really wrap your head around that before you start moving on to Ethereum and understanding smart contracts. Once you get your head around those two things, then you can start learning about different smart contract platforms like Ethereum versus Cardano versus Cosmos versus Polkadot, and understand, again, what they're trying to solve for. And then you can start moving on to some of these other more complex blockchains and why they're needed in order for these chains to operate the way we all are thinking about them operating. So it's very easy when you're new to crypto and new to blockchain to be like, oh my gosh, if this is possible, then we can do this, we can do that, we can do this, we can do that. It's kind of like the internet in the 90s of like, oh my goodness, if we can send data and information anywhere in the world instantaneously, like amazing things are possible. We can video message, we can send pictures to each other. And they're like, oh, whoa, wait a minute. We do not have the throughput to be sending, massive video files or data files back and forth. I mean, even you think about where Zoom is today compared to where, Skype was even 10 or 15 years ago, the quality and the lag time, or even Twitch compared to YouTube right now. If you guys at home are watching this stream, you're getting a full HD image realistically, beamed or piped to you in just a few seconds. And I can see your comment, Rug Gang, gotta use finger gloves, homie. I have no idea what you're talking about, but I can know you said that in just a few minutes ago.
Unless he's talking about focal dystonia.
Focal dystonia?
I don't know half the things you're talking about.
It's a bass player, Scott Devine. He has to wear a glove because literally both of his hands are touching the screen. Strings, it basically, I guess, creates a neurological circuit and he spasms.
Whoa.
Focal dystonia.
Whoa.
Why that's in my brain, I don't know. Oh, I meant to be here. Oops.
Yeah, I had a feeling you did, but it's okay.
Or he's talking about condoms. Really?
Yeah.
Just do your Kegels, Jesus.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, small condoms, I said, clearly. What is a super cycle and will we get one? Super cycle is kind of a buzzword more than a reality word, in my opinion. There was a quote unquote super cycle in, 2014, 15. It's when we had a really big blow off top. It pulled back just a little bit and we got an even bigger one. Two massive bull runs within one cycle. I think that's what people are referring to. In my opinion, I think people would call anything the end of diminishing returns, a big pump. A lot of people use that when they say super cycle. Could be that we see the nation states really trying to get into Bitcoin in this cycle, and that would really, I think, make for a massive pump, in my opinion. Crypto Stevo says Frankie is the super cycle.
Yeah.
All right, so yeah. So anyway, that's the graph. I want to blow through these really quick because if I don't, I won't. We can just chat all day long, but if I don't get through these, then you guys get mad because I put it in the title and we didn't cover all 5 of them. So, hey, I'm here for you guys.
So I'm not the only person who does that?
No.
I make sure I cover what's in the title.
Yeah. Well, no, Drew busted me for it last time because we get talking. I put some of the picks at the end, and then they get mad. So I'm gonna cover this stuff, and then we got a little more time to chat it up. So render, I know. I think it was Nick covered it first on this show. Really plugged it before it did pump. So if you guys have been watching the show for a long time, hopefully you made some good profits on this one. This was one of the early movers in this cycle. Distributed GPU rendering, which again, this comes back to what I was talking about when I'm saying you need to understand the needs that are the problems that these projects are trying to solve. Because just like we have a need for getting decentralized data into these smart contracts to truly make them smart, because if they don't have information, they can't really execute the way we need them to. Rendering and video and data and all that stuff, real data on the blockchain, not just pointing to, again, an API or Amazon web server where a lot of the data is actually being stored, like most NFTs that operate today. That's one of the core differences between ICP and some of these other ones, that the data actually lives on the blockchain. Rendering and storage, you can kind of put them together. I don't know. How do you feel about that, BJ? Would you put rendering and storage into a similar category, or would you say they're nothing alike? I kind of put them together, but some people argue with me on that.
Rendering and storage. I mean, one wouldn't it be literally storage based versus one is, oh, okay, I see what you're saying here.
Because you're still using decentralized computers to obviously, yes, the function is not the same. One is storage based. One is using basically we've got
one is also storage based, but it's random access storage versus pseudo deep storage, even though it's not deep storage. So, ooh, that's a really good question that I don't have an answer for.
Okay, no worries. I know you're that's a lot of your world too, and you can understand why I would compare this. Some people argue with me. I'm like, yes, I understand their core functions are different. But for distributed GPU rendering, think about this. We've got tons of if you guys understand proof of work, we've got tons of computers here. We've got tons of really high-end GPU. I don't know what's in that computer right there, BJ? The white one?
You guys RAM-wise or what?
No, the GPU. You guys picked those out. They're like an RTX.
Well, it's because things were still expensive. They're just 3070s. And yes, Crystal Thorn, I know a GPU is not RAM. However, there is video DDR in there. So, yeah.
So we've got tons of RTX 3070s here. Like you said, not necessarily standalone going to be the huge, most insane rendering power. I know I used to work where we had, I can't remember, it was Titan. I can't remember the name, letters and numbers that went with it. Like 2 twin Titan, that's the guy that did a lot of 3D graphic work at my previous,
it's like a 970.
Yeah, it's something insane, and he had 2 of them in one computer. They were like $10,000 GPUs, and he had them stacked up in there. He was doing insane rendering, so you can render massive files as quickly as you need to. And so if you think about doing that distributed, it's a different form of proof of work, but it's going to be what's needed to, if you guys know Theta Network, which is kind of trying to compete with some of this stuff, we need distributed rendering so you don't have these massive render farms, these massive server farms, in order for these blockchains to catch up and do what they need to do in a decentralized distributed way.
Right.
Chemistry Bros here says the real money maker is the mixture, TJ. It's data centers that have GPU processing capabilities to do this stuff with the data also stored there. High-end NVIDIA GPUs also include AI core for the AI processing work. So it's maybe really a small AI play too long-term. Yeah, that's more or less what I was getting at there. These are core functions that are going to be needed for us to get where we need to go. So if you follow a lot of emerging technologies, it's that time cost arc that the network effect you're trying to get. And generally speaking, sometimes, or not, maybe not always, but generally you need one emerging technology to come out and then a different emerging technology that allows this one to continue and then another one that allows this one to continue. That's really what I saw with blockchain. I was like, that's really what got me on it. And hold that super chat. When blockchain technology came out, it really made me realize, oh, wow, this concept of decentralization or distributed ledgers or distribution of work, whether, I lean towards proof of work in a lot of different ways, is going to be what it takes to get solar where it needs to go, to get AI and machine learning where it needs to go, because you're not going to, once everything can be open source in a safe and secure way where you can trust, it's a trustless internet and you don't have to worry about somebody stealing your stuff. You can have, open, trustless, you don't need third-party trust. It will allow people to build things like some of these projects. And again, there's no guarantee all of these are going to work, which is why it's important to understand the problem and the teams behind them if it's possible to solve it in the timeline. Because again, a lot of people really underestimate how long it's going to take for us to get us there. But GPU rendering, one of the things that is interesting. It's not the only one that does it. Let's see. The Render Network is the leading provider of decentralized GPU-based rendering solutions. Also, like if you think blockchain games, if you think a lot of the things that it takes to play, to create. That was the other one, VR. If you think metaverse and VR, to really scale that and build those things out quickly, if you're using AI to generate environments and distributed rendering to render and create them, you could have insane things being created, not quite in real time, but give us 20, 30 years, and in real time, you could be inputting thoughts and ideas of environments, and they're getting realistically rendered right in front of you as you're doing it. Now, we're ways out of that, but I mean, now, if this stuff really hits scale, that's what would be possible. You think about, I want to, like if you've seen some sci-fi type movies, you've got your VR headset on, and you want to think, I'm thinking of myself in this location with this surrounding with blah, blah, blah going on, and then you see it all kind of, dissolve away, and then this new image comes up, and then boom, I'm in this whole new environment that I just thought up in my head. Again, that's pretty far out there. It's a little trippy, but that's a world that could happen.
It's not too far out there. Think about Demolition Man.
Such a good movie.
Yeah. Demolition Man, we're just about ready to get tickets for cursing in public, so we're closer than we thought.
Taco Bell won the food wars.
See?
Taco Bell won the food wars?
Yeah, Taco Bell was the only
restaurant in that movie.
Yeah.
Is it? That's hilarious.
Stallone's best.
All right, so let's see. Brian Hodges, first time, long time. I watch you guys every day, just usually not live. Thanks for all the alpha. You got me digging into AI projects. I came upon All In, got it for 44 cents. Do you have thoughts on All In? I haven't heard about All In. Not right this minute, but yeah, let's see. All In.
Doing the elevator music.
He definitely got in he went all in at a good price here.
Yeah, look at that. Look at that chart. Yeah. Pull that up real quick. Whoop. Doing pretty well. Made some money.
Jeez.
I mean, he got in like right here. Right right before it really pumped. I have no idea. That's when we're sitting at where's the price? Oh, $2.93 right now. So good job for you. So that's roughly, 5x right there, a little bit more.
It's a pretty new project too.
Yeah, let's see.
It's within 3 or 4 months.
What's it built on? Say, it's Ethereum based. We are all in. Are you? Intelligent tools, AI powered intelligent community tools. Oh, and guys, I'm not saying go buy this. It's on a huge pump right now. If you are interested in it, probably wait for a bit of a pullback.
I want to ask you guys your opinion on like price action though.
Yeah,
right?
go ahead.
So obviously, with ChatGPT specifically, and then being bought by Microsoft, that makes a huge sentiment increase in attention to AI. And I do think AI maybe is a little bit different than maybe like when Microsoft Meta for Metaverse and stuff like that. But I was talking with AJ about it earlier, and it's like, on price action, obviously that sentiment is what drives it. It's not like any of these blockchains are the ones who got bought out or struck a deal specifically with Microsoft, right? Right now it's still speculation. But you're talking about maybe a pullback. Honestly, I sold half my AGX bag at about 45 cents. I've been holding for a long time. And I was like, I see an opportunity to take some profit just because I think that it's going to probably pull back. But what do you guys' thoughts on price action for specifically the AI projects?
Yeah, that's a great question. I'm glad you brought that up because I do feel like, you said the word in your question, speculation. Right now, where we are in the market and where we are in blockchain, it's a speculation-based game. So you can ride those narratives, and it's almost, I always compare it to Dogecoin when Elon first started talking about it. And it's like, oh, Elon Musk is going on SNL, he's going to hype Dogecoin, and it's going to pump, and then it started pumping into that. Of
course.
And I'm a big believer. I've been in crypto long enough to know buy the rumor, sell the news. So you
crap out of that.
You shorted it before you went on?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, good for you. Yeah.
And then it tanked afterwards when nothing really happened.
It was awesome.
And I'm saying good for you for taking the profits and getting in on a project early before everybody's hyped about it. It pumps, you take some profits on it, and then you maybe
I took about half. I mean, I still believe in it. You know what I mean? I still think it's cool. I like the doctor who's in charge of it. I can't remember his name right now.
Dr. Ben Gertzel.
Ben Gertzel, that's Singularity Net. So I said I wish I'd bought more on the way down.
Sure.
It was on my list. I mean, what can I say? I got like 100 crypto, but like that's one of the things I do too. Is, by the way, I learn by actually doing. That's one of the things I want to say about crypto. And sure, you lose money and stuff and things, lost in transactions, but there's different L1s and there's different things that they do operate differently. So I like to actually buy stuff and see how it works and how it moves and what wallet do I store it in? Can you stake it? Like these are all the things that I do. But then as far as price action is concerned, when I see anything go straight up like that,
taking some profits.
Yeah, I'm probably going to take something.
No, that's great. I love everything you just said there. Learn by experience. I'm a big believer. The best way to learn the most, the fastest is through trial and error. You're going to learn, I like this. I don't like this. I made money. I lost money. When you lose money, those lessons stick a lot more. It's a lot easier to remember them. Like, I was looking at that.
Tuition.
Yeah, maybe something pumped.
That's it, market tuition.
But Frank, I mean, obviously you're the TA guy. What do you think on, low cap speculation, price action? How do you approach that? Do you have any strategies for people at home? I know you guys do some of that in your Discord with the token metric stuff.
Yeah, so actually, speaking of AI, Fetch was a coin that we were looking at just because of the crazy bullish trader grade that token metrics was giving it. And, we started putting, I'll be honest, I said in the Discord, I said, listen, like, this token metrics channel is like, it's not going to hit 100% of the time, but we're literally like 15 or 16 for 16. Like,
oh, wow.
Nice.
Yeah, like every single one was up over 100%. Obviously, a lot of them pulled back now. But I think really the game there is obviously getting into it early. I think a lot of the biggest trap that people fall into is like that all in that we were just looking at. Like people are going to FOMO into the top there, and it's kind of hard because it seems really easy to say don't FOMO in on a big pump, but when it's actually happening, it's much harder. It's much easier said than done, right?
Yeah.
And especially if you miss some, right? So someone might tell you, "Hey, don't buy the top of that green candle. You're going to likely wind up getting wrecked." And then maybe you don't buy that green candle, and the thing just right. So I think really the move there is to understand that you're going to miss some stuff. Don't buy the top. And like you were saying earlier, TJ, just ride the sentiment, right? Like the AI stuff was popping off. And like, the best time to get in was probably back when we were looking at, Fetch, at least specifically for Fetch, which was a while ago at this point. But get in early, ride the sentiment up. And I think something people need to remember, at least specifically right now in this market, is I know this is somewhat subjective, but we are still somewhat in a bear market, right?
Oh, yeah.
Obviously, we have gotten a pump, but you want to remember we are in a bear market. So, any kind of alts that I was buying, I am taking profits. I am not holding these.
Yep.
Like we were just talking about before, right? Sell half, keep half. That's never a bad idea. Hold a moon bag. Just make sure you pay yourself, right? Because nothing goes up forever, and I think people forget that a lot. So,
yeah, we are still technically.
Yeah,
I mean, it depends on your trading strategy or investment strategy. DCA all day is what I say, right?
Yep.
So you can definitely do that. When I see a pump like that, I kind of feel like I got to take something.
Absolutely.
Of course. It's like,
And I'll tell you from experience, that's what gives you the powder you need to continue to get into those pumps in the future. Especially if you're playing that low cap speculation game, you're not trying to go 10 for 10, even though Frankie just said he went 15 for 16 in that chat.
Not likely.
You're really trying to get in. Say if you're in 10 different projects, 7 of them might go to 0, but 3 of them might crush. And if you don't take profit on those 3, you're not going to have the powder you need to get into 10 more again. So if you're playing the low cap game, don't get too attached to anything at all. I will tell you that from experience. If you do not want to hold long-term through whether you call it a bear market, whether you call it accumulation market, we're definitely not in a clear bull trend right now like we will be after the halving. And that's when you can maybe hold on a little bit longer to think like, okay, this is going to pump at some point when everything starts going crazy. I know I'm due, like if I go low enough down the list, I'm due for something on this, and it depends on what level of capital you're putting in there. I gotta go reverse when I see it on the TV. It messes with my head, but I think I got to figure it out now. So that's all I'll say about that is like if you're speculating, you got to think like a speculator. If you're investing, you can think differently as an investor. I saw SAS Finance asked, do I like Matic? And yes, I do like Matic. I'm investing in Ethereum and Ethereum-based layer 2s right now. I hold a bag of both Matic and Optimism that I plan to hold through 2025 or definitely through 24 and into 2025, along with a lot of Ethereum, a lot of Bitcoin. I don't plan on selling those anytime soon. And then the further down the list you go, the less attached you need to be. When I say the list, I'm talking about market cap. The lower the market cap you go, the less attached you need to be to these bags. So really only put big money into things you believe in hardcore. Again, I'm looking at ZK rollups, but even some of those, that's another narrative, I would say, another trend that I'm investing in, knowing there's tons of ZK projects right now. Like if you start getting into that world, there's like 40 or 50 of them, and we've mentioned a lot of them on here. Obviously, all of them aren't going to be necessary. They're all solving the same issue. A few of them will be huge winners. Matic is now in that category. Optimism's got a different approach. You've got Base, layer coming with Coinbase, not with a token, but they're all still trying to solve that ETH scaling layer 2 throughput, data issue that they have.
Yeah.
So understanding, okay, I'm investing in these because I think Ethereum's going to do really well in the next cycle. Contrary to BJ's opinion, I really see Ethereum as being the big winner through 24 and 25, and then layer 2s on them being a big part of that.
That's adorable.
And then, and other smart contract platforms. That'll always be my core investing thesis. I shouldn't say always. As far as I can see, that will be my core investing thesis when it comes to blockchain technologies. Bitcoin, hold a lot of long-term store value. Other smart contract platforms, like you've heard me always list Ethereum, Cardano, Cosmos, Avalanche, Polkadot. There's a ton of other ones. And getting into those, I've had a lot of success finding. Tron is another one that might be a sneaky pick for the next cycle. Where it really, Asias. What's that?
The Asias might be moving into Tron.
Yeah, well, Tron was the smart contract. One of the biggest pumpers in the 2017 market. It was the Chinese Ethereum, so to speak. It got a lot of flack for just being a copy and paste of Ethereum. So I don't know where, tech wise, it's probably a little bit behind a lot of these other ones. We are going to look at HBAR here in a minute. I've kind of got mixed feelings on HBAR. I think I have HBAR here. Yeah, I do. Okay, we're not going to look at that yet, but. Yeah.
Crypto Stevo says,
come back to the full. Yeah.
Ethereum is the backbone of Web3. Well, horse and buggies were the backbone of transportation. So just saying.
I wanted to say,
no, I'm just trying to think about.
I would use AOL as the analogy more for that.
Or I was thinking, like, what's the roads?
What's the roads?
Yeah, the roads of like for the like. Bitcoin. It was the development of the roads that really pushed the cars along and all that sort of stuff.
Look, where we're going, we don't need no roads. TJ.
Yeah, I love that.
Okay. Oh my god!
Back to the Future, one of the greatest movies.
Yeah, we're the Jetsons.
Trilogy? Yeah, trilogies.
Yeah.
Sad.
They haven't made the fourth one yet.
Are they going? Is there a fourth one?
One never knows.
We're past the future of the farthest one out.
So Kryptonic.
Yeah.
But there's an extra T in there.
Kryptonic. Yeah.
Ah, yeah. We're good at speculating. We're not good at reading. We were homeschooled.
Speculate on the pronunciation.
I think HBAR is a great long-term play. This next cycle, not so much. So he's okay. See, now that I would be extremely careful with. There's almost no coins outside of Bitcoin that I'm looking at longer than the next, like 2 cycles out. Because this is what I've learned from experience. I thought that for a lot of projects too, like, this one is going to be good in 2030. I'm going to be a bajillionaire for loading up on this one. And then, 2 years goes by and you're like, oh my gosh, they're not doing anything. And, like
they haven't answered any DMs.
Yeah. I would be very careful on speculating on a 10-year plus time horizon on almost anything other than Bitcoin. Even Ethereum, as much as I love Ethereum, as much as I love Cardano,
very early.
Yeah, it's extremely early. There's a lot of variables out there. Please, I urge all of you, if we go the way we think we're going to go in 25, we get an insane new all-time high for Bitcoin, an insane new all-time high for Ethereum. We got alts pumping like crazy. Please take substantial profits into other real assets. I don't care what real estate. We bought a lot of real estate. We bought a lot of computer systems, digital, cameras, microphones, things that we can use to create things that generate more revenue, cash flow producing assets. I don't care if it's real estate. I don't care what it does that gets you excited. But don't just hold crypto only forever. You need to diversify out. If you hold an asset and you get 10x, 20x, 30x, 50x returns and life-changing money, use it to change your life.
Yeah.
Don't watch it go all the way back down to zero. Yes. You'll get another, because it will go all the way back down again.
I think we all learned the hard way, probably.
Exactly.
A lot of bags.
Yeah, a lot of people learn this the hard way. I'm trying to save you from that. 26 is going to feel a lot like 22. And if you guys just went through 2022, it probably didn't feel great. So yeah, Chemistry Bro says I plan to sell almost everything by late 2025, then buy it all back late 2026 into 2027. There you go. Look, if you learn that 4-year cycle, we know it's all supply and demand based. We know Bitcoin really the Bitcoin having cut that massive cut in supply is really what impacts the Bitcoin price. And at least so far, the Bitcoin price is really what dictates the rest of the market following, because so much of it is speculation based. There's still tons of money to be made. I'm not trying to say you're not going to make money in 26, 27, 28, 29. I don't think most of you guys are looking that far out. SAS Finance says they plan to buy 2 rental properties. I think that's a great strategy.
Yes.
Yeah, I won't keep harping on that, but please just don't write it back down to zero like I've done more than once.
Well, that's basically my strategy. Make a bunch of money in crypto, dump it all into real estate.
Yeah,
that's my move.
Yep. And also, though, stay tapped in shows like this, because we're gonna the sentiment going alive. When we have the pump coming, we're gonna tell you when the warning signs come.
Absolutely.
2022 could have been a lot funner if you sold a home into that peak and got a loan at a 3% right before the Fed started strangling everyone. It went great.
Yep.
So,
Yeah, a lot of people saying buying gold and silver as well. Yeah, a lot of, basically other hard assets, other things that don't have infinite supply like the dollar, and you could even argue like Ethereum, and a lot of other crypto projects. Hard cap, hard supply, that's something that I always look for. Real estate, they're not making more land. They're definitely not making more land on water. You can make the argument with air rights, you can always build up, but still, that's a different show. Okay, real quick, let's touch on HBAR, because they have had some big things happening lately. HBAR is almost 5 billion in less than 3 years in ETH, all real transactions. So they had 60 million transactions per day on the network. They're having an insane throughput. For those of you who don't know, they recently added Brian Brooks as a HBAR Foundation board member. Brian Brooks has been Office of the Comptroller, was, I believe, head of policy at Coinbase, and then as well as Binance US. He's extremely connected. Don't quote me 100% on both of those things, but I'm pretty sure those were his titles. Extremely connected politically, extremely connected in the blockchain space. Definitely knows what he's doing around there. I have mixed feelings when it comes to HBAR. Very involved. Is it considered one of those ISO 222 whatever?
It's in the narrative, but they're all within the narrative. Like, it was all created because Ripple was part of the body or the board that kind of helped form it. But like, it's a messaging standard that is used for traditional finance. That's the whole thing. Like, there's no crypto that's coded to actually just be a plug and play into ISO 2022. It's a messaging standard. You have Stellar and Ripple, or XRP more particularly, and then HBAR and XDC and all these other ones that are trying to set it up so that they can be included in that messaging format, but it's not a guarantee. And that's what you have to keep in mind. And, I don't think that these massive banks want cryptocurrency, and much less, hundreds of thousands of plebes to come in and just become, billionaires or millionaires overnight because they chose this asset ahead of time. That's not what the heads of all the states want by any means. They hate privacy. They hate everything that might be able to actually bring the common person up. They want to keep us down. So you have to keep that in mind when you're buying these things that are in the ISO narrative spiel. There's only going to be a few, if any, that are chosen to communicate with traditional finance in the future. So
yeah, no, I tend to agree. HBAR, a lot of people saying this is more of a long-term play. Yes, this is a different category than those other coins we just covered as far as AI being pure speculation. I think it's something to ride in the short term. HBAR fits more into the long term, like looking into 24 and 25. They are within that narrative. I know Crypto Mason's a big fan of HBAR. A lot of other people, like, they definitely have a following, have a community. That being said, it doesn't really, for me personally, fit within a lot of the ethos that I really care about. But to Drew's point, you have to ride the narrative. You have to get involved with, even if you hate the WEF, even if you hate banks, but you see this thing coming as a potential good investment. Now they also have a pretty big supply. They had a huge token unlock the other day, but we did see it didn't really impact the price too much. And that's the other thing to keep in mind: who's getting the token unlock. If it's all going to the foundation, they're not incentivized to dump on themselves. So I don't know. Do you have any thoughts? Anybody else on HBAR before we move on?
I mean, I hear people, they're concerned with WEF all the time, and I like to operate personally from a position of power and strength. So, if it makes me money and it can buy me more property or more iron goods or more lead, then I am all for that and speculate on it in the short term because I can turn it into real tangible assets. I can help my community directly around me and not worry so much about what some bald people in Davos are talking about. So
there you go.
Yeah, I like HBAR. Go ahead, Fred.
No, you're good. Go ahead.
Yeah.
No, I do like HBAR for the computer science of it. It's a DAG. It's really fast, and that's kind of a little bit different than a blockchain. And so basically, if they're trying to do partnerships for enterprise use, I guess you might call it, might be different than like the direct ethos of decentralized finance, which of course all of us believe in and love. But as an investment opportunity, you can see how that they might be able to really do something in the area of Web3 in the future.
Great point.
Say DAG?
Yeah, Drew loves a DAG.
I love DAGs.
Wow. Drew found his date for the evening.
I know.
No, and like you said, very fast. It's created more for enterprise than retail, and so these are all things you need to understand before you dig too much or before you put too much money into it. Because there's definitely I'm not trying to FUD it. I'm saying there's definitely a big opportunity with HBAR. I might even have some somewhere. I'm not even sure. So. That's why I wanted to mention it. And like I said, Brian Brooks, if there's somebody that's going to get it into enterprise, like he's got the connections to do that, as well as a lot of other people on the team. They are a real foundation, a real project. There's a reason they have a big community and a big following. So no shade on them at all. Bubba's Crypto in the basement says HBAR and Algo, thumbs up. Speaking of Algo, another one known to be very fast. We wanted to touch on this. It came up in the morning stream to see what we thought about Algo blasted over interaction, ongoing wallet drain hack. Zach XBT blasted Algorand's failure to acknowledge an ongoing wallet drain hack on February 27th. Wallet providers MyAlgo posted a critical advisory recommending all users to withdraw funds from the mnemonic wallet stored in MyAlgo. So I do have I do hold some Algorand. I don't have it in MyAlgo. Looks like, let's see, 19.5 million Argo and 3.5 million USDC between the 19th and the 21st. Why is it just people from the community and myself sharing the attackers' addresses with the exchanges? Meanwhile, just silence from your embarrassment of an org. Dang, that was pretty harsh.
Brutal.
Collating tweets from frustrated Algorand holders. Zach XBT confirmed the wallet drains are still happening as of March 7th, was just yesterday. Algorand Foundation distanced itself from MyAlgo, saying the wallet provider is a third party and has no direct association with the protocol or the foundation. Yeah, that's obviously true. It's kind of like a bridge hack going on a network. Like if a service provider gets hacked, it's not necessarily the blockchain's fault. But I also see Zach XBT's point where if this is going on, you do to kind of have a responsibility to your community to acknowledge it and help them remove their funds so they don't continue to get hacked. This is one thing I do think Binance does very well. Obviously, a lot of things on Binance Smart Chain have experienced hacks on bridges and different things. Yes, it's not your fault, but you can still help solve the problem. So I know you were mentioning some of this stuff. You're an Algo holder as well, right, Cassius?
Yeah, I'm big in Algo. I'm going to tell you, Algo's my biggest bag, and I really believe in it long term. I believe in Silvio Micali. I believe in the computer science around it. It's really fast, cheap, and easy to use. If you use it, right? I did have my Algo wallet, Pera wallet, PERA is their main wallet. One thing that's cool about it is that this also exposed the fact that they have a feature called Rekey on Algorand. So you don't actually have to take your assets out of MyAlgo wallet, where you can use the Rekey feature from like your Pera wallet to then basically get a new seed phrase. And this is important because when you stake your Algorand on the governance, then what you do is you're committing your Algorand. So it's still in your wallet, which is great. But if you were to send it out of your wallet, then you would be disqualified from getting the airdrop every quarter. So they're getting your rewards, I should say, every quarter. So you can use the Rekey feature. So go on the Twitter page. MyAlgo wallet will show you how to do it. Or Pera wallet, they have many posts on how to do it. But that's basically what's going on. MyAlgo wallet is the hack. The other wallets are safe.
Yeah. And so somebody asking in the chat, is it safe on my ledger? Yes, it's safe on your ledger. I mean, it never hurts to go check. I have it on Exodus, and I was like, let me go at least look at mine. Just a peace of mind to see that it's still there. Like he said, it's not gonna, depending on where you hold it and how it's connected, that's what qualifies you for different rewards that are through the system. Somebody says, Rug Gang says, nah, bro, I put all my stuff in rando ass crypto extension wallets. Yeah, I don't tell anybody. I might do some of that too. But
most importantly, in chat, people are asking Drew, do you like DAGs?
I love DAGs.
You like DAGs?
I like DAGs.
Yeah, you got to get the I love turtles.
I think it's going to be another narrative. It's
Quit your dog from dribbling on my seats, but it's a stolen car, Tyrone.
Yeah. I just think DAGs are the next coming narrative, man. Like layer zeros and DAGs. It's coming. And I'm just trying to get ahead of it, so I'm not trying to buy the top of a candle 6 months from now.
What are the other tickers that are DAGs?
Well, his favorite is
Constellation DAG is like my main one. I know HBAR, ICP is working to integrate with them. So those are the three that I'm kind of focusing on within that realm. And ICP is trying to do some big chaotic stuff. They're hated. They were arbitraged by SBF, and that's why I like them.
Yeah. And I always love saying it. I can never say that middle word. Acyclic graph.
Yeah, me either. That's why I just
directed acyclic graphs.
There you go. Acyclic click. I just like to add a few more licks in there. You know what I mean? So. We're sitting at just 424 viewers right now on YouTube. Only 175 likes. So we should definitely hit that 420 like goal. If all of you guys just stop for 1 second, hit that like button. Hit that like button. Come on. We gotta get to that 420 likes. If we get 420 every day, you know it's a good day. Don't even have to use the AK. You know what I mean? So having a really good time here. I think that's pretty much all we have.
Are we rating Joel?
Yeah, if you guys are into speaking of having a good time and enjoying life, Hit Network Gaming is live right now. He's really trying to get to 1,000 subscribers on YouTube. We're gonna raid him on Twitch on the basement. We can't raid on YouTube yet because you can't raid anybody that doesn't have at least 1,000 subs. So if you guys could help, if you're into gaming at all whatsoever, after you hit the like button on your way out, go sub to Hit Network Gaming. We're gonna be doing some really fun. So we actually have a 24-hour stream coming up here towards the end of March. It's going to be a lot of fun doing stuff with everybody in the building, pretty much. News to Frankie, clear your schedule.
Yeah. Wait, what?
No, it's going to be a good, we're just putting together the plan right now. We love all of you guys. Will Yum Yum, the Deadwood, Crypto Stevo, Fluffy Sheep, Mike Bennett, Bullish on Parade, Clavy, Tito 420, he's here for it. Gareth Griffith, Stan, and then the basement, Razmataz, Crypto Thorn, Corvette 3, Corvette 4s, Manly Crypto, Bubba's Crypto, Miami Alpha, Rug Gang, Casino Doggy, Crypto Thorn, Solar Miner Spain, Dude, what does mine say? Royo 6969, of course, the Chemistry Bro. That's everybody. Mario, JHD, Crypto Biker 73, Enzo Mining. We love all of you guys. Love the fun chats. Love the flames. Grabbing it. Oh, nope, it's over here.
There's an uwu in there too.
Uwu. Yeah, we love all of you guys. Happy Wednesday. Stack those sats. Speculate. Don't get burned. Take profits. We love you all.
Bye, Felicia.